Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are ranking every single movie that Batman has ever been in. And I actually was just going to do like the Batman solo movies only, and then I put posts on Instagram and on the YouTube community tab and asking like, should I include everything? And you guys wanted to see that, so that is what we are doing. And of course, this is just my useless personal nerd opinion. If you agree or disagree, let me know down below. If you want to be a step beyond and be a true nerd, let me know your list. That'd be awesome. Also, there's quite a lot of movies. I don't want this video to be too long, so we're going to breeze through it, starting right at the bottom. Joss Whedon's Justice League. If you've been subbed to the channel, then you know I actually burnt it, mate. I chucked it in a bin, on fire. I sent it back to hell. This is the worst Batman movie ever. This is not just the worst Batman movie, just one of the worst movies I have ever seen. Compared to the Zack Snyder movie, this is an absolute monstrosity. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I hate it. Next up is Batman 1966. The reason this is so far down on the list is I actually saw this when I was like 16. Obviously, way past the time when it came out. To be honest, I wasn't nowhere near being born when it came out. But when I did see this movie, obviously it's really lighthearted, really cheesy, really funny, it's dancing, shark spray, all that stuff. When I saw that, I'd already seen other Batman stuff that I thought was really cool, really dark. When I saw this, I was like, I don't get it. Maybe it's for you, it's just not for me.
Hand me down the shark repellent bat spray.
Next up is Batman and Robin. This is the absolute one-line movie, man. Just George Clooney, he does not do it for me as Batman. This is, let's just be honest, it's a proper cheese fest. Arnold as Mr. Freeze, it's just so much cheese in here. I kind of don't hate it. If I'm being totally honest, I can like switch my brain off and enjoy something that is ridiculous, and I'm having like an okay time with it. I definitely don't hate it. How can you hate a movie that introduced us to the Batman credit card?
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
Next up is Batman, The Killing Joke. This is quite a big step up from the last movie. This is really good, man. It's not the best animated movie that I've seen of Batman. There's definitely more to come on this list. But for a movie with Joker, it's very dark. Oh, it's very, very dark. If you haven't seen it, brace yourself. It's very, very crazy. By the way, I'm not talking spoilers in this video. But if you're a Batman fan and for some reason you haven't seen this, definitely try it out. Again, it is not for kids. Just because it's animated, don't make that mistake, bro. You'll traumatize them.
You sanctimonious, self-righteous...
You're not in it like I am, Barbara.
Next up is Batman Forever. This is where like the cheese really started, and then obviously it went into Batman and Robin. I still kind of like this. I like Two-Face as a villain. Not really in this movie, just like from the comics and the games and stuff. But I still do try and enjoy a Two-Face on screen. Riddler as Jim Carrey is kind of good, kind of hokey, but overall, I still like this movie, man. I don't know what it is about it. I think I was at a good kind of age when this came out, and I saw it relatively young, and it was very cheesy. Obviously, it's way lighter in tone than Batman Returns. I don't know, I've just got like a soft spot in my heart. I kind of sort of grew up with this movie. Obviously, I was crazy young. I didn't watch it when I first saw it, but I saw it relatively young. I got a soft spot. I don't know, man. I kind of like it.
This is between you and me.
And me. And me.
Next up is Batman. This is the OG original Michael Keaton Batman movie. This movie is sick. It's a massive step up from everything else on this list. You guys know about the villain life, and when Batman is teamed up with a good villain on screen, I'm having a fantastic time. Jack Nicholson's Joker, he was the Joker, yo, for a long time. This was the standard that all Jokers needed to hit for live action. It's very dark, it's very gritty. Obviously, I saw this maybe when I was like 8 or 10 or something like that. I can't remember. I was very, very young, but I knew then this is what the Batman needs to be, man. Michael Keaton, for the longest time, was my favorite Batman until, well, actually, that video is going to come out probably tomorrow. Stay sub for that. I really like this movie. It still holds up to today. I do think the sequel is a lot better, but yeah, Batman is sick. Next up is Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. I know a lot of people that say like this is the best Batman anything ever. And I totally get it, I totally see it. Again, I didn't see this when it came out straight away, so it didn't like hit me hard sort of thing. But I really do like the animating, I love the story, it's a great thing, man. Again, I'm not gonna spoil it because I still know people, as crazy it is, have not seen this movie yet. Even if you don't like animated movies, if you're a Batman fan, you're doing yourself an injustice. This movie's really, really good. Definitely check it out. Next up is Batman Returns. This movie for me is an 8 out of 10. It is really, really awesome, man. This is like the defining Michael Keaton movie. He was great in Batman, but in this, I don't know, I just felt it, man. Like, he is Batman. I love him as Batman. I love the car, the opening scene where the car like does the spin, catches the guy on fire. There's so many like highlight things in this movie, man. Michelle Pfeiffer, absolute goated, mate. Even Penguin, he's like this absolute disgusting cretin of a character, and I absolutely love it. The story's great, the characters are fantastic. There's so many like Batman moments when he hits the grapple gun on the wall, pulls it, hits him in the back of the head. By the way, that guy is legit dead. There's so much in here, and for the absolute longest time, this was my favorite Batman like live action movie. This is always gonna be amazing for me, and it's still sick. Next up is Lego Batman. This is another movie that a lot of people say like is the best Batman movie. I totally see it. Story is really, really good. There's so many characters in these Lego movies. I absolutely love it. And the humour to make your boy laugh. I'm not really a big fan of comedy, yo. I was dying in here, man. There's multiple scenes with Batman and Alfred. Had me absolutely creasing, mate. Really, really funny. Again, for me, this is an 8 out of 10. It's on the same level as Batman Returns. They're kind of like that. I just think overall, if I'm being like fair and sitting on the fence and not going with Batman Returns because it's like my childhood movie, I think this is a tiny bit better. Any day of the week, I could have them like that, man. But yeah, I love both of these movies. Lego Batman are really, really sick, and I'm down for a sequel.
There you are. Oh, Alfred.
Next up is The Dark Knight Rises. This is the third and final movie in the Nolan trilogy. What a way to end, man. I love everything about the trilogy movies. This one, it had a really good end, man. A lot of films struggle to hit that final movie and end on a high. Of course, I love Christian Bale as Batman. I love Bane. I love Tom Hardy. What he does, just with his eyes and his voice, is unreal, man. So sick. Him fighting Batman is just one of the things grounded in my head. Like, I can just picture every scene of that fight and all the lines of dialogue. It sticks with you, man. In fact, talking about dialogue, Bane's got some of the sickest like one-liners, little things throughout the whole thing, and just it sticks with you. I also like seeing Bruce struggling, the whole pit thing climbing out. There's a lot in this movie. It is great, and I'll be fair, for me, it's the weakest in the Nolan movies, but it's still an 8 out of 10, a banger.
Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
Next up is Batman Under the Red Hood. Just so we're clear, we're at 9 out of 10 now, man. This is the animated movie. Red Hood is, I mean, come on. Probably my favourite DC character of all time. And for him to get his own movie like this with Batman, it is so good. And it's so dark. And the action is great. I love this movie, yo. Jason Todd will always hold a special place in my heart, man. As long as they do him right and do him justice, I am on board. This is like the definitive Jason Todd movie for your boy. I absolutely love this, man. I've seen it so many times. If you ain't seen it, get on it.
It's my meeting.
It's him, Batman.
We didn't do nothing.
Well, we all know that's a lie.
Next up is Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Another 9 out of 10. I'ma be honest, this might shock a few people. I love Batman the Animated Series, but my favourite series for Batman is actually Batman Beyond. As a kid, I would get home, it was Batman Beyond, Yu-Gi-Oh!, DBZ, and the same day, or sometimes alternating. That's my childhood right there, man, and this movie is so sick. Like, the world they've created for Batman Beyond was amazing. I love Batman in here, all the futuristic gadgets, the fact that he can fly. There's so many amazing things, and this Joker story, people like don't really know which Joker is this? Is this the real Joker? What's going on? There's a lot of mystery in this movie, and that's why I put it higher than Under the Red Hood, even though I like that movie equally as much. But this, there's just something a little bit better that I like about it, man. If you have not seen it, trust me, you don't need to see all the animated series. Just go into this fresh, you are gonna love it. Next up is Batman Begins. This is, for me, the definitive, like, starting Batman movie. Seeing him go through all the ninja training, everything, I love this movie. It still holds up today. Another 9 out of 10 banger. Also, Christian Bale is amazing in this movie, man. You got Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. I mean, there's so much to love in here. Gotham feels gritty and nasty. It's also quite a long movie. It takes a long time to start, but I appreciate that. You really get the idea of who Bruce Wayne is in this universe. And you see the real progression of him turning into the Batman, which I really liked. I love movies that just drop you into it, man. He's Batman. You know what's going on, but I like seeing a really good origin movie. That's what this is, the definitive live-action version for me. Also, Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow, extremely underrated, man. He's one of my favourite actors of all time. This movie still holds up. If you haven't seen it in a while, check it out. It's so good, man. Still to this day.
You know how to disappear. We can teach you to become truly invisible.
Next up is Batman vs Superman. I love this movie. I think it's well sick, man. If you disagree, I just don't care. I love Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Even maybe more so as Bruce Wayne. It's just like older version of Bruce, gritted and just evil, man. He's like got hatred inside him, real hatred. And he sees Superman as this like person who can literally kill the planet off. And he has to stop him. And I love the conflict. Also, it's a no-brainer, but you do need to see the extended cut to really appreciate this, man. Also, it's got arguably the best Batman live-action scene in movie history with that end warehouse scene. Do not try and tell me that ain't God tier, mate. I love Batman in here. I love his gadgets. I love Jeremy Irons working with this version of Bruce Wayne, aka Ben Affleck. There's so much in here that I love. It would take me all day to explain it, man. This movie, obviously, I love Superman, and Henry Cavill is my Superman. To have them together on screen, I really loved it. But even if I'm only doing Batman, it's still where it is, man. For me, I'm just being real. It's like 9.5 out of 10. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Next up is The Batman. Brand new Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson as Batman. Spoiler alert, I gave it 10 out of 10. It's that good. I love this detective version of Batman with detective gadgets, and just he spends 85% of the movie as Batman. And when he is Bruce, he's really awkward, and I really like seeing that. It's like the darkness has really overtaken him and he only wants to be now the Batman. I love this movie, man. I said in my review, from the comics, I've never been the biggest fan of Riddler and Catwoman in here. Probably my favourite versions of them. Obviously, Michelle Pfeiffer is goated, but for me, this Catwoman does the job to the extreme, man. She's amazing. And Riddler, he is properly scary. Also, Colin Farrell is Penguin. I mean, he looks unrecognisable, sounds unrecognisable. They've done an amazing job with him, and I absolutely love the Batmobile. And I said in my review, the scene which introduces the Batmobile, I would shit myself if I was a criminal, mate. This makes Batman really scary, man. And please make a second one, or just anything with Robert Pattinson in, I'm down.
I'm vengeance.
Next up is the Zack Snyder Justice League, aka the real one. I also gave this movie 10 out of 10. It is God tier, and still in the DCEU, I don't care if Warner Bros or whatever say it ain't canon. For me, it's canon. By far, this is the best movie, and I can't see anything coming close to it. Maybe if Zack Snyder makes another Justice League, hopefully he does. Batman with all these characters just feels amazing, and we get some real good progression from him being evil and gritty and nasty, and just proper progression, man. We did not get it in Joss Whedon's version. He's like comical. Something's definitely bleeding. Those jokes, that ain't Batman. Like, did my guy even watch Batman v Superman? Zack Snyder gave us the same Batman, but slightly progressed, and you can see it, man. He feels bad for Superman, obviously, what happened. This is the definitive Justice League movie that I always wanted. Batman in here is so sick, man. A real leader, and yeah, I love it.
Like a mother?
Be very careful with the next thing you say.
And the best movie is The Dark Knight. Probably going to be the best movie on everyone's list. Putting Joker aside for a second, Batman in here is amazing. He's exactly what Gotham needs him to be. The way he interacts with everyone, his slowly progression. I also really love, I did forget to mention in Batman Begins when I was talking about that movie, but I really love that Bruce Wayne in this one has this really like fake persona. He's a billionaire. He's getting all the women. He's drunk. He's sending people home. I love seeing that. And I can't deny Batman in here, he is on another level, man. Christian Bale kills it. And of course, the Joker. I mean, I don't think it's actually humanly possible to have a better version of a live action Joker than Heath Ledger's Joker in here. He is goated. Beyond God tier. He is so good. Creepy, scary. The story's amazing. You got Two-Face. There's so much in here. I don't think another solo Batman movie will come close to this. Obviously, Justice League ain't a solo one, but you guys wanted me to add everything in. If I take that out, so it's The Batman with Robert Pattinson against The Dark Knight, I gave them both 10 out of 10. The Dark Knight is beyond God tier, man. One of my favourite movies of all time. I don't think any Batman movie is overtaking that, at least not in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the list. Do you agree or disagree, or did I miss anything out? Or if you think I'm going crazy, yo, let me know down below. That'd be amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Very, very soon, I'm going to be doing all the Batman actors from worst to best. Stay tuned for that bad boy, and I'll see you in a bit.